This next design is my rosebud. Because it's painted from a side-on perspective, I feel that it looks better on the side of the face as a simple singular flower. I've added in a bow just to dress it up, but of course you could be very creative with this design, but today I'm keeping it simple and elegant. I'll be using my new one-stroke Velvet Rose from Amy Greig's store. And I've loaded up the darker colours on my half Verona from the Face Painting Hub. I'll start by creating the main shape. The rosebud is a very womanly shape, so that's why this first step is important, as it helps maintain the shape, and it also helps with the placement of the petals. I'm filling in the shape a little bit, but not all the way to the top. The shape doesn't have to be perfect, as most of the petals will cover the outer edge. I've reloaded my brush again, this time with more white on the tip for the rest of the petals. The heel of my brush is placed where I finished the top of my main shape. This is where my petal will be, and I'm aiming for a fan shape here. You can see I'm slowly wiggling my brush up and down, as this helps to create more depth. I always use my sponge to dab, just to dry that area first before I add in my second petal. Also, by lifting and lowering the brush on and off the face, this helps to bring more of the dark colour up through the petal, again creating more depth. If the paintbrush is too dry, you won't be able to create this movement. Once I'm sure that first petal is dry, I can add in my inner petal, which is a small N shape. The third petal closes the rosebud and will start from the top left of the outer petal and finish on the bottom right of the outer petal. Again, I'm gently wiggling the brush up and down as I go. The next petal will come from the same side and will go on the same angle. This time you can see I slowly start to flip the brush over. This creates the fold of the petal. And I'll just go over that part one more time so that you can really see that fold, and we'll drag it down just a little bit further. This next petal shape is important as it really starts to bring the rosebud shape together. We do the same as we did on the other side. Here, we flip the brush over, and this time it drags across the entire rosebud to the other side. I'll go over this once more because we really want this petal to stand out. The last two petals will frame the rosebud, so make sure that the heel of the brush follows the main shape of the flower here. With each petal, I'm doing the same thing. I'm wiggling the brush gently, and I'm lifting it off and on the face to create that depth. As I come around to finish, I'm lifting the heel of the brush off and dragging in with just the tip of the brush. I've loaded up my half angle brush again with a custom green, and I have the darkest colour at the tip. The colour I'm using is a black, an olive green, a pearl, bronze green and gold, and I really like it paired with a rose or any pinky red flowers. So we're starting with the stem, and now I'm adding in 2 framing leaves either side, and that's really all it needs before I add the bow. This design is almost finished. I'm finishing off with my 3D bow. I've loaded up my half Verona again with the darker colour at the tip, but you could easily, for a tiny bow, use a 3/8. I like these bows because they have a big impact, but they're actually really, really quick. I start by painting the outside of the bow on both sides first. That just helps to get the size correct. As you can see, after I paint the outline, I give the brush a little wiggle, which just helps to create that 3D look. Then I flip the brush over and do the same on the other side, making sure that the white matches up with the first side. With the tip of the brush, I'm just outlining the bow on each side just to create more depth. I'll outline this with black later. I flip the brush over again to finish off the other side, wiggling the brush to create the 3D look. And again, just with the tip of the brush with the red, I'm outlining just to create that depth. The middle of the bow is quick and easy, just using the red tip of the brush and the white on the heel of the brush for the highlight. Painting the 3D ribbon is quick and effective. The brush stays on the same angle and we brush from left to right, crossing over and pointing down towards the chin focal point. And the same again on the left side. To finish off this design, I'm using my global script liner. I'm not outlining the entire design, just the areas that I want to make pop a little bit more. I hope you love this design today. This next design